And from Koteri now, let's give you an update on the killing of Kolade Johnson, who was shot dead on Sunday by a police officer. Well, the Lagos State Police Command has now arraigned Inspector Ogunyemi Olalekon, the alleged killer of Mr. Johnson. He was arraigned before a chief magistrate's court in Ebutemeta, Lagos, and remanded in prison custody. The police found Mr. Olalekon guilty of discreditable conduct by shooting and killing Kolade Johnson and awarded him the punishment of dismissal from service and prosecution. He was then handed over to the Criminal Investigation Department, PANTI, for prosecution in court. Well, his arraignment followed his dismissal barely 24 hours ago.
Meanwhile, Kolade's friends have now taken to the streets of Ibadan, calling for immediate reforms of the Nigeria police as well as an end to the operations of the Special Anti-Robbery Squad. They also want justice for the deceased. Correspondent Olutayofe Muskol has details.
They might be few in number, but their message is loud and clear. They seek justice for one of their own, Kolade Johnson, who was brutally shot in Lagos State by men of the anti-cultism squad of the police.
If we don't end SARS now, this death is going to touch someone else that is watching this right now. Yes. We have to stand and know that we as Nigerians have a say. This government is not our head. We are the ones that are meant to control the government. If the government cannot listen to us, then they are not meant to govern us. Yes. This is Nigeria. It is not one person's property. It belongs to all of us. Kolade Johnson has a son that right now he cannot even have a claim for because that son was given birth to in South Africa and he has not even done the proper documentation for that child. That child is probably gone for life. It can no longer be claimed. Is this fair? What will we explain to that boy that the government of his father failed him to grow up without his father? Please let us all stand up and know that we have to stand for our rights. Let them end SARS. We want a court hearing for Kolade. If possible, let it be a life for a
that this Kolade's killer should be tried under the law. We have heard a lot of times that they will say, okay, these people they've been arrested, we want more than that. We want justice for Kolade's killer.
They took their message to the streets of Ibadan, marching from J. Allen Junction to the premises of the investigation unit of the Nigerian police force at Iyagokun, where they called on the government to expedite action and make an example of those culpable of snuffing life out of Kolade Johnson in his prime.
We wouldn't like to see a situation whereby we walk in the street and just get nabbed by these security personnel. There's limit to human endurance, and things are not being stable right now. As we can see, last week, a young man was killed in the name of Kolade Johnson by stray bullets from the same men of security, the police or the SACS unit. You know, this has constituted a lot of issues around the social scene. So we all have to stand up. And to everyone out there, I want you to know that this concerns us all. It is not a matter of self-gain or whatever it is some people may call it. It is our civic duty and responsibility to come out and do what is required and protest and speak out.
These Nigerians also call for proactive reforms in the Nigerian police force with a clarion call on the central authorities to disband the squad, which has been a menace to peace-loving Nigerians. Olutayofe Muskol, TVC News, Oyo State.